DJ Event Planner, Electra Voice, DJ Trivia and DJ Bingo, ProX Direct, NLFX Pro, Promo Only, Odyssey Cases, Perfect Portals, JMOZ Lighting, Instant DJ Requests, and our DJNTV Insiders. This is John Young from DJNTV. Thanks for watching.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hanging Out with Howie. I have with me, as always, my close friend, Brian S. Red.
Hi.
And I know he loves hearing this, my road dog, John Cawley from Boston.
How you doing?
And of course, the gourmand and the soothsayer of all things legal music, Mr. Bill Marsh from Maryland.
Mr. Bill. Oh, no.
Oh, no, what?
Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Oh, no. Oh,
no. So what I was thinking was, we're all single ops here. And that pretty much is, who our target audience is beginners and single ops. And I thought, what is your tip for either apps or ways that you would organize for a single op, whether you have any tips in that area, whether it's an app or a program or something. If you have 3 or more events going on in 1 week, how do you keep everything separate so you're not calling, Jill? Oh, hi, Joan. Oh, no, this is Jill. Oh, that sort of thing. So what sort of tips do you guys got for me?
I'll tell you what I do. It's not an app. All right. But just to keep everything straight, like you said, you can get confused on who's who, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my phone, I actually name the contacts, their name and their date.
Mm-hmm.
I do that in my phone. So it's not it's not like Howie Darkstar. It would be Howie Darkstar October 13th wedding. That's how I have it in the phone. So if I get a text or if I get a call, I'm not surprised. I'm not off guard. I know exactly who these people are. I know what their date is.
Oh, that's something I don't do. That's a really good tip.
Yeah. And with text, it's fantastic too. You get a text message. Hey, we're wondering about our wedding. And I see right in the title, it's the October 13th wedding. Oh, hey, no problem. We're on it. And I don't sound like such an idiot. I put little notes in their name to clue me in on who's contacting me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started actually doing this year, and it's been helpful.
You still use like the Google Docs, paper-wise and all that?
I've never used it.
Or whatever it is. I know that you use the sheet where you have, okay, this is the event at such and such a time.
Oh, I do from scratch.
Song I'm going to play, that kind of thing.
That is a custom timeline that I create in Microsoft Word. So,
okay, yeah, same thing.
But it's not a form. I mean, I literally just start.
Right.
I talk to them. I figure out what they want, what they don't want. I give them a timeline done. But yeah, that's it's not an app, but it's just something that I do to help keep organized on who's calling me, and instead of just trying to rely on their names or any of that. That's a really easy way for me.
Cool.
That's very good.
John, what do you do?
I'll take it to the next step. Because generally, I don't end up with stuff on the same day. I don't end up with back-to-back gigs because that'd be harder. I mean, managing a calendar, if you've only got one at a time, if you get a Thursday, a Friday, and a Sunday, calendar operations isn't too bad because you know that each day is allocated to a certain event. But I find what saves you the most grief and headache is in your software for your music, whether it's Serato or virtual, is to set up the music lists ahead of time and put it into a virtual crate with subcrates. So if you need certain songs in certain order, you don't have to hunt and peck the night of and try to remember then after you've talked to 10 different people. It's all there waiting for you. And you're not copying the file. It's just a link to the file wherever it happens to live in your hard drive. But you can see them all at a glance. You can pin the whole thing to the side list. And you're like, here's my batting order. And I'm not going to flip out because I can't remember. We're talking to all these people what we discussed 4 weeks ago for this day. There it is. Because you've already taken the time to prep it ahead of time.
I do that too. Like I'll take, like if they have, like a first dance, father, daughter, mother, son, and then special requests, I'll have a folder for them, a crate for them with their name on it. So when I'm at the gig, what song did they? Oh, click here, and it just pops up.
Name date folder for the name of the event, and then subfolders. This is your cocktail. This is your dinner. This is your special dances, and then stuff they requested. You can fill in the blanks pretty easy.
I could just as easily type it out, and I do, but it's nice to be able to not only click on a folder, but to see what you have played and what you haven't played.
Yes.
So,
that's what I like about Serato. It turns blue if I've played it. So it's like, okay, all right, I'm not confused now because there's so many moving parts, at a wedding. But I have one wedding and 2 community events in August, and that'll, and the beret thing, and that'll tell a tale for me whether or not, I still have the chops after, 3 years or 1 year of cancer and 2 years of COVID.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
So how do you do, Bill? How do you manage and juggle 3 or more events in a week?
Well, I'm going to backtrack a little bit talking about the folder for the music, because I do that also. And one of the advantages, I mean, as we've already established, the biggest advantage is having all of their music right there where you want it, when you need it. I go sometimes even a step further. I have an event coming up this Saturday. It's the 30th anniversary. The couple as a whole are big into Buffett. They also love the Grateful Dead. And so pretty much my entire Buffett, file and my entire Grateful Dead file and pretty much anything else that might support their other likes, 70s, yacht rock is a big one for them too. All that's going to go into their folder. So that I don't have to start digging around and looking for stuff or going through my CDs, because I'm low tech. And on the low tech side of things, I have always been a big fan of keep it simple. When I first went on my own and did the single app thing, I bought Microsoft Office and I've never gotten away from it. I've yet to find a CRM, the different ones out there. I'm not going to name names, but I've yet to find one that really, really, really hit a home run for me and made me say, I don't need, one of my elements of Office anymore. And I mean, I will go ahead and say that there have been a few that had things that I did like, but not one of them covered every base that I wanted covered. And it's just so easy with Word. I mean, like Brian said, I make a timeline that I then turn, I keep it as a Word file. I send it off to the client for them to take a look at and edit if they want. I send it off to the venue for them to do the same. When it's done, edit my stuff.
They don't get to edit anything.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
When I say edit, I don't even really mean edit. I just mean here's what it's going to be. Let me know. And it could be that in their final planning meeting with the caterer, it was decided to do the toast, between the salad and entree, and I had it, after the entree or before dinner or something like that.
Yeah, so, if I let them edit, they're going to do things like say, "You spelled Alejandro wrong. We corrected it for you." It's like, now say it.
Yeah, I spelled it.
Phonetic. Leave it alone.
Yeah. Now, we do that. We both do that phonetically.
Yep, everything's phonetic for me.
So that I get it right. I mean, if you
that's not how you spell Paige. That's not her name's spelled. I'm like, well,
it's okay.
It's okay. I can say Paige when I read this.
It's plural for the pronunciation.
Not Porgy or whatever the hell it looks like the way she has it spelled.
But another thing that I think is kind of also important as a single op is just knowing what you have inventory wise, and that doesn't mean you have to be like a big company and keep a hard drive or a hard file of all your inventory, but you should keep a list of what you own, when you bought it, and perhaps if it ever went to the shop, when it went to the shop. When was the last time you yourself cleaned it? Just little things like that. Because during this COVID time, I can guarantee you there were a lot of pieces of equipment collecting dust that nobody did anything with because they weren't taking them out on the job.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, this past 2 weeks, I loaded up for the first two events for August, and all of the cables, like the 10-foot IEC cables that would go to the speakers when they're up so high, and then boom, just one wire coming down, and then of course, an XLR going in, and make sure it's a 25-footer to go to, my controller, and that all stays as that's that event. The second event is in different cases. I'm not going to rob Peter to pay Paul. I mean, I want that whole thing there. I don't mind spending the extra, which I didn't have to buy anything. I already had it. I just had to make sure that it's like, oh, this case is for this gig. Everything has been tested. Everything is in there, and one spare of everything. Like one spare, DMX cable, let's say, or whatever the case is, an extra microphone, whatever. And that seems to work really well for me. I'm wondering, do you guys do what I do when I have these events and I use Serato? So do the thing like you mentioned, with the sub crates, and you have, cocktail and, special events, and then, the dance portion. When I'm done with that event, I delete it so I don't get confused with the next event and pull up the wrong crates. I just say goodbye. You're gone. I mean, it's not that I'm deleting songs from my library. I'm just deleting the crate.
I'll tell you why. I can usually keep it pretty straight on what I'm doing. Like I'm not going to confuse a quinceañera with a wedding or, whatever. I may confuse a couple's, but I don't tend to do that because I'll put the date on it.
Okay.
So it will be like Aaron and Stacy 7/16 or something like that. I don't have to get any more in depth than that. But the reason I don't is because if I make the crate, if I go to the trouble to do it because it's an event where I have a lot of songs that I gotta, play. If it was a successful event, then at another event I can say, what the hell did I play for that one that was so good on 7/16? Click, oh yeah, those are the songs I played, and then go with that.
Good point. Yeah.
If it was a good gig, or this feels like the same audience, what kind of things was I playing for them? And I can go back and look.
Sure. You can filter out the specialty songs and keep the meat and potatoes and say, yeah, that party was really banging and it was recent within the last 6 months to a year. You might be able to take something from that, just rename it to something that makes sense to you. So when you look at it, you go, oh, that was a good one. There's definitely something in there.
I'll actually save events. So, like if I do.
Hey, guys, we're recording. If you can turn your cameras off.
If I'm doing like a school dance or something, and I'm hitting bangers.
Keith, can you turn? There you go.
Yeah, he's got it. If I'm hitting really good songs, then I can save that and say, okay, these are good songs. So the next time I either do a school dance or the next time I'm at an event where there's some younger people and they want some contemporary stuff, hey, these were good songs I played at this dance. I can go back and look at my history file and see what I did.
When you're using another thing I do, like I said, I add a bunch of extra stuff into the file sometimes if need be, but I will then kind of like how I said, I'll delete that stuff out, but I will keep, especially for weddings, I will keep all the formal songs and the folder and on a thumb drive, because thumb drives are cheap. And, so I have, plenty of old thumb drives. But the reason I also do that is, let's say, Keith and Jennifer refer me to Bob and Allison, and at Bob and Allison's wedding 2.5 years later, I play Keith and Jennifer's first dance during dinner.
Sure.
Doesn't mean they're going to get up and dance, but at least they appreciate it.
It's a callback.
Yeah.
Callback.
And
Right.
You can connect the dots. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just little things like that. And that's the thing that's going to get you that third referral.
I have found, and full disclosure, I'm an ambassador for Vibo, and I always offer that to prospective clients. And I get about a 50-50 response that they'll use it. And, for finding the music, it actually makes a crate, like Brian's saying, the name of the couple and the date, and it's there. And it not only does that, it makes the sub crates, which are so cool, like, cocktail hour, dinner, special events. It just all in order. And I like that. But I also am really partial to, like you guys mentioned Word document or a Google Doc, any kind of document that you can print out. I really like that. And Vibo does allow you to print things out like that and, edit it so that, they don't have to see all the songs. It's just like, hey, here's the order in which things are going to happen. And, I'll keep it separate like that. Whatever it pretty much, it's like whatever the client is comfortable with. If they just want to talk on the phone, and I'll just write it down and do like Brian does, and I'll just make my own, Word doc. And, I try not to let them edit anything. I really do. 'Cause it happened to me. It really did. Cause I spell ethnic names phonetically so that I don't screw up.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even trendy names.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
The one
And
I always struggle with is, and I really do struggle with it, is Megan and Megan. And if you want to piss off either a Megan or a Megan, call them the wrong thing. Like they get triggered and they get angry. So like if it's a Megan, I'll spell it M-E-E-E. Just Megan.
Just to make sure you get.
So Megan, I'll spell May-gan. Just,
M-A-Y. May-gan.
Well, that's not how she spells it. Well, leave it alone.
Well, it's funny you should mention the word Megan and Megan, because the last wedding I did, the bride's name was Megan. And Jimmy was still with us, and he made this beautiful motion monogram, and it was Bill and Megan, and the really cool stuff he would do for us. And I sent her a copy for approval. I go, what do you think? Do you like it? She goes, oh my God, I freaking love it. I'm like, is there anything you would like to change? No, it's perfect. I get to the venue and it's not M-E-G-A-N, it's M-E-E. She goes, I go, what do you think? She goes, I love it, but you spelled my name wrong. I said, but I sent you a proof and you approved it.
Right.
You recently had it changed?
She goes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And, she still loved me.
That's a burn, though. She approved it, so you're off the hook on that one.
But I just thought it was funny that you mentioned Megan.
Right. You're easy to screw up.
It is. So you got to be on top of it. So is there anything else you guys want to add here?
I think we did good.
That's like, it pretty much covers it. It's the people, the music, and trying to keep yourself organized to the best of your ability. So you're not your own worst enemy.
And how we mentioned an app, so we're good.
So this is going to be going up in maybe a week. Certainly, I would hope it would go up before Beret, and everybody here on the panel is going to be at Beret. I'm really looking forward to seeing all you guys, and a really good time. 5-minute walk from the Hard Rock Casino. Free parking in the back if you want to drive. If you're staying elsewhere, please do come. And with that, if nobody has anything else, I guess we'll say good night.
Yeah, we're good.
Should be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and good night, all.